This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. The lead stories: TikTok suspends new video uploads in Russia. Activision, Blizzard, and Epic pause game sales in Russia. Netflix, PayPal, Adobe, and others are suspending business in Russia. Visa, MasterCard, and American Express, yes, suspend their operations in Russia. You can tell what kind of a night it's going to be. I want to welcome you to episode 1591 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, March 7th. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today at geeknewscentral.com/insider. I want to welcome all of the new listeners and viewers to the show. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking it out. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. Subscribe and follow to the podcast. Do that right on the website. Also, sign up for our newsletter. Our newsletter contains everything that I'm going to talk about in this show, delivered directly to your inbox immediately following the show. Of course, you can always join our chat room at geeknews.chat. That's a Mastodon chat server or our Discord channel. You can always contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, or on Twitter at geeknews. You can follow me on Facebook, just searching for the name Todd Cochran, and follow me there as well. Of course, all partner shows are linked at geeknewscentral.com, whether it be the new media show, the Pro Gear Guru website, the Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain, the GNC Work and Review with Scott and Kirk. Definitely check those podcasts out. Partner shows here, and I tell you, lots of great data on all of those shows. Of course, this show is supported by the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast. It's our good friends at GoDaddy.com. You can save lots of money using GoDaddy promo codes that I provide for you as part of this listening audience, whether it be 30% off a new product purchase, a $4.99.com for new customers, or those of you transferring in a domain as a new customer, a $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain, and $2.99 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year with a free domain. So those two hosting deals, they're the best in the business. They get you going, get you online, get you started. If you're a business owner, though, free trial of GoDaddy Website Builder, your choice of personal, business, or business plus plans. That's a 1-month free trial. Try my codes out. Get it signed up for a hosting account. Buy a domain name. Use a 30% off coupon code on products and services as well. So definitely go over there, save money. All my listeners save an average of 94% per purchase of GoDaddy hosting accounts and an average of $3.50 on GoDaddy domain names. All these GoDaddy domain names work currently. You either copy the link and paste it in at checkout, or you just click the link to lock in the savings that we always recommend that you do. And again, I want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here of the podcast. Thank you to them for supporting the show, and thank you for essentially taking care of me and the sponsor and allowing me to pay the light bill, pay the gas bill, pay the rent, pay the insurance, all the things that go along with running a show like this. So we definitely thank all of you that continue to do that. Well, let's talk just a little bit here about what's going on. Honestly, haven't felt well the last 2 days. Yesterday, I slept like almost all day. And then this morning woke up with a sore throat and a little bit of fever this morning. We got a bunch of stuff going on, so I came into work and powered through and decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on the show. I've got H2O here keeping me keep my throat clear, so we'll see how it goes. But we had some beautiful weather. Saturday and Sunday, it was beautiful. I mean, in the 60s, beautiful. Little bit of a wind, of course. So it was nice to have the weather, but boom, right again this morning today, snow. So you just wait 15 minutes and things change here just like they do in other parts of the country. But anyway, we've got lots going on. I posted a couple things on my Facebook page. We have a bunch of announcements over the next week at blueberry.com. and announced one today that's basically going out talk about some new audience data survey stuff that we're working on. That basically we're releasing, and big announcements on Thursday, then again next week on Tuesday. But lots happening. So we're really kind of in crunch time right now. And telltale signs are starting to show up on the website and some of the things that we're doing. So if you want to go over there and peek and dig around, you can do that. But official announcements coming later. So, anyway, hope you're all doing well, and we'll get into the content here in just a second. But of course, the news is dominated by Russia, and we won't get into the details of the Ukraine war, except that you just got to feel for all those folks. It's horrible. But tech companies are stepping up and cutting the knees off of Russians. TikTok suspends live streaming in Russia on fake new law. So basically, they said it needs to review safety issues, and Russia has sought to crack down on social media services. And they said they're suspending live streaming in Russia amid the country's fake news law that's aimed at silencing dissent and limiting information about its invasion to Ukraine. They say we have no choice but to suspend live streaming and new content to our video service while we review the implications of this law. And basically, people that are over there, they're putting content out, can be locked up for up to 10 years. So that's just one of many companies that have pulled the trigger. Visa and MasterCard and American Express have all suspended their operations in Russia as well. You can't get a credit card processed. And it's, if you think about this just a little bit, that's major. Imagine all of a sudden all of your Visa and MasterCard, your debit card, all of those not working, being inaccessible, not able to do transactions. So Visa said, effective immediately, Visa will work with its clients and partners within Russia to cease all Visa transactions over the coming days. Once complete, all transactions initiated with Visa cards issued in Russia will no longer work outside the country, and any Visa card issued by financial institutions outside of Russia will no longer work within the Russian Federation. So that's amazing. We're compelled to act following Russia's unprovoked invasion of Ukraine. MasterCard posted a longer statement. MasterCard's statement on suspension says if it's with all this in mind and not the unprecedented nature of the current conflict in the uncertain economic environments, we decided to suspend our network services in Russia. Decision flows from our recent action to block multiple financial institutions from the MasterCard payment network as required by regulators globally. With this action, cards issued by Russian banks will no longer be supported by MasterCard network, regardless of where they're used, inside or outside of Russia, and any MasterCard issued outside the country will not work at a Russian merchant or ATM. According to Bloomberg, the decision made by Visa and MasterCard came hours after Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky called on the companies to halt all business in China. And also PayPal shut down its services as well as the American Express. So Coinbase blocked over 25,000 addresses linked to illicit Russian activity. So even crypto is being blocked. And the exchange added these accounts were identified through its own proactive investigations, and the address has been shared with the U.S. government to further support sanction efforts. So Coinbase aims to play its part supporting the critical economic sanctions levied against Russian individuals and entities amid the invasion of Ukraine. So this is a big deal. The cutting off Coinbase did. Activision Blizzard and Epic paused game sales in Russia as well. They joined a variety of other publishers halting sales in the country. So financially, the Russian people are definitely being hurt. The Russian government's being hurt. We just need to cut off the oil. But I know those of you that are fueling up, you're feeling the pain at the pump. Believe me, I fully get it. It's going to get much, much worse, and I expect $5 and $6 gas before this is over. So Time will tell where this leads, but if we get up to $10 gas, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow. But we're headed to 200 oil for sure. On a more happy note, artificial intelligence discovery could advance the treatment of spinal cord injuries. This technology could eliminate scar tissue that prevents recovery. A combination of AI and robotics might help people recover from spinal cord injuries. A Reuters-led Rutgers, R-U-T-G-R-S, led team has used the technology to stabilize an enzyme called chondronite ABC that can degrade scar tissue from spinal cord injuries and encourage tissue regeneration. Where the enzyme only lasted for a few hours at body temperatures, it now lasts over a week, enough to have a more substantial effect. They says there's no treatment for this. This is just early information, and they're going to work to develop treatments. So this is big. This is very, 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 very big. So we'll see what happens over time. There are lots of people that are on the moving. And I know this is quite a departure from the other topics we're covering, but there's a great article over on makeuseof.com talking about the 7 best mobile apps to help you when you're moving. Avenue is one, Moving Boxes is another, Google Keep, Yelp, Offer Up. So basically places to offer up furniture, places to find boxes, et cetera, et cetera. So link will be up in the show notes for that. The Batman, well, I hear it's not getting great reviews, but in Austin theater goers were offended and offered refunds when a guest brought a live bat into the theater. Most opted to stay and see the flick anyway, but I guess this individual got the boot, but the uninvited guests flew around the theater, prompting staff to pause the movie. And so I've had a bat caught in a house before, and it's not cool. And so we'll see what happens with this individual. But obviously, someone pulling a prank during the Batman, bringing a live bat to the movie. Lovely. Microsoft suspends all new sales in Russia as well. So they're on the list, is basically saying no bueno, no business with us. Apple is joining the great return to hybrid work. Having made a ton of cash offering products to support remote work, Apple has announced its corporate employees must return to the office by April 11th. The return will not be full-time, so many people predicted hybrid work is here to stay. Tim Cook broke the news in a staff memo. In many locations, officials started lifting pandemic restrictions in accordance with the guidance of public health experts. And based on the latest data, we're optimistic this progress will continue into spring. Staff will return to work on a staggered basis by April 11th. They'll be expected to work at least 1 day a week in the office. That number goes to 2 days a week 3 weeks later, and it is set to reach 3 days a week by late May. So 3 days a week. They're going to have to be in the office 3 days a week. That's interesting that they're doing that many days in office. According to Extreme Tech, Samsung promises app throttling controls in future Galaxy S22 update. This is after it was discovered that Samsung was throttling performance across all apps. And so basically, they've acquiesced and promised an update. Even when Samsung releases promised update, Geekbench says it won't restore the phones. It's policy that if a phone gets booted for cheating, it's never allowed back. This is disincentivized cheating in the first place, and it's possible to know that the device maker won't reinstitute benchmark cheating later. when no one's looking, and it does seem like Samsung could do that if they wanted. Users have been testing S22 throttling, claim that Samsung can remotely adjust performance curves, and it has done so in the last few days. So Geekbench tracks performance across a variety of devices, but it's particularly popular on mobile devices. Leaderboards are a good way to compare the capabilities of two different devices, but Samsung phones won't be as visible going forward in response to the throttling debate. Again, they're going to delist the Galaxy S22 as well as other Galaxy flagships that got the same optimization, including the S10, S20, and S21. Got put in the penalty box. Amazon is reportedly using Chinese suppliers with ties to forced labor. 5 suppliers directly or indirectly involve forced labor. This should not come as a surprise. Almost anyone that's working in China, doing business in China, almost everywhere, they have very, very liberal work ethics and forced overtime, etc. But a report from the Tech Transparency Project, owned by the nonprofit watchdog organization Campaign for Accountability. The report accuses Amazon to continue to work with these suppliers by evidence of the association with Uyghur labor camps. China's population of Uyghurs, the country's Muslim ethnic minority, is largely concentrated in the Xinjiang region of China. Over several years, the group has been subject to a number of human rights abuses, including internment camps, constant surveillance, mass sterilization, and forced labor. As the TTP notes, China uses what it calls labor transfers to transfer Uyghurs from the Xinjiang region to factories throughout China, forcing them into low labor programs that are often coercive and connected to a network of mass internment and re-education camps. So 5 specific companies were called out. So we'll see what Amazon does with that. Tomorrow, Apple's having an event at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. While internet sleuths have tried to discern any hidden meanings baked into the invite graphic or the use of the word peak, it's most certain that one of the announcements for this event will be an update of the budget-friendly iPhone SE, now with 5G compatibility. On the iPad front, we may see an updated iPad Air to replace the model that debuted in 2020, also now with 5G in tow. Beyond that, things get a little murky. We don't know if there's going to be another Mac Mini update or any higher-end Macs being released. We'll see. And I'm sure there's going to be some software showcase of new features and probably a little chest thumping about privacy. So that goes down tomorrow, and you can watch the live stream on Apple and many other places. John Deere, yes, John Deere and Company will not give out software and data needed for repairs, the FTC has been told. Farming groups demand some kind of actual action from the U.S. watchdog. 12 labor, farm, advocacy, and repair groups filed a complaint last week to the FTC claiming the agricultural equipment maker, Deere and Company, has unlawfully refused to provide the software and technical data necessary to repair its machinery. They contend that Deere and Company owns 50% of the ag machinery market in the United States and deliberately restricted access to its diagnostic software and other information necessary to repair its products in violation of the Sherman Act and statutes covering unfair, deceptive trade practices, and are asking FTC to intervene by putting an end to these practices. Meaning people have to go to a John Deere repair center to get their equipment repaired. So in January, they were hit with 2 lawsuits, one in Illinois and the other in Alabama, over the company's repair restrictions. And the U.S. president voiced support for repair rights. Then in February, U.S. lawmakers in the House of Representatives and the Senate introduced separate bills to guarantee the right to repair. So we'll see where this leads. But the legal filing cites several examples and length of time, more expensive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Over at CoinDesk.com, the EU Parliament Monetary Committee to vote on MiCA next week. Wording that would have banned proof-of-work cryptos like Bitcoin has been removed. So this is big. An independent topic of proof of work is no longer provided in the MICA. Berger told CoinDesk, confirming that his promise to remove language he had previously called a de facto ban on Bitcoin. My suggestions include crypto assets like all other financial products in the taxonomy area. In the view of controversial discussions surrounding the energy consumption of crypto assets, a taxonomy could provide clarity and ensure a better information basis for consumers. So we'll see where this goes, but you'll still be able to use crypto in the EU. There's an interesting article. I don't know if I'm going to go into it, but it talks about what is the point of mini PCs, and all throughout this are ads for the Mac Mini. And okay, it's smaller. There's lots of small Windows computers as well, but very powerful. Just as powerful as some desktop computers. Does what I needed to do here. So they're small, fit anywhere. That's a consensus of the article. I'll have the link up in the show notes for you to check it out. YouTube is offering popular podcasts $50,000 in cash to pivot to video. Well, they didn't offer me no cash. Starting with video production is expensive. Yes, it is, but YouTube is willing to help with that. Bloomberg is reporting YouTube's content push works out to offers up to $50,000 to individual shows and $200 to $300K to podcast networks. Report says these grants are meant to help with high startup costs producing video, which requires cameras, lighting in a studio, a lot of other equipment you don't need just to do audio. Yes, indeed. So this follows something they're working on. So we'll see what happens here. YouTube, it continues to be a great discovery place for podcasts. Uber boosts Q1 profit guidance as the world gets moving again. So in a fresh 8K filing this morning, Uber said now expects adjusted EBITDA, a healthy modified profit metric that strips out a host of costs, including share-based compensation of $130 to $150 million in the first quarter. That's up sharply from its prior guidance of $100 to $130. So demands for rides and food is up. So not surprising. People are getting back to work and moving around. ZTE, China's telecom kit maker ZTE, is being summoned to court in the U.S. for a hearing over possible revocation of probation after pleading guilty in 2017 to violating trade sanctions by illegally shipping to the U.S. tech to Iran. And the original case, ZTE pleaded guilty 5 years ago to breaking trade sanctions by shipping $32 million worth of U.S.-made components for router switcher services and mobile phones to the Middle East nation through various Chinese-based subsidiaries. So they have to go back and see the judge on March 14th, maybe to get some of their licensing back. We'll see. Google says the latest Chrome on Mac outperforms Safari. The Android browser is faster than before. The Internet Pioneer added that Chrome is nearly 43% faster than it was when the first M1 Macs arrived in late 2020. One of the largest improvements came in late 2021. Google introduced a new JavaScript compiler that offered particularly strong benefits for Apple Silicon. Android users should see a meaningful upgrade too. Chrome on Google's mobile OS is 15% faster thanks to optimized navigation. So there you go. Apple TV is rolling out on Comcast video platforms with 3 months free promo offer for new customers. So if you've got a Comcast Xfinity Flex on your television, Apple TV's on there and you get 3 free months of Apple TV. Amazon is being pressed to provide more transparent about tax. Investor groups seeking to take a resolution to the shareholder meeting. A proposed resolution seen over the weekend by the Financial Times has called for the megacorp to publish a transparency report according to the guidance defined by the Global Reporting Initiative's tax standard. There are a number of GRI standards aimed at increasing transparency, in this case, understanding of the companies paying a fair share and contributing to society. Investors trying to take Amazon to task include asset managers Nordea, Royal London, and some large European and U.S. pension funds. It's been increasingly difficult to decipher Amazon figures. The company's own statements on the matter in the UK tend to include indirect taxes, such as those paid by employees. The geographical spread of the company also does not help matters. AWS UK revenues, for example, report as part of Amazon Web Services, EMEA and SARL, whatever that is. So they want more details on the breakdown of what they've paid and how and where. If you have a Pixel phone, the March Pixel feature drop includes live caption on calls, night mode and snapshot, and more. So if you got a Pixel, whether it be a 3 or all the way through a 6, you can see these new features, what's coming. Link is in the show notes for you to review that. Pixel 6a, all the rumors we've heard about Google's upcoming budget phone, a Google Tensor chip could mean Pixel 6 power on a budget device. So they basically have a breakdown of what the 6a could look like. Link will be up for you to review that as well. We got another SpaceX launch coming, and SpaceX is targeting 8:35 a.m. to 10:36 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday, March 6th, for its next Starlink launch from Cape Canaveral. Weather for the new window is improving. They were supposed to go tomorrow, but right now we're going to go on the 9th. So we'll keep an eye out on what's going on there. But go SpaceX, go. There's an article about charging habits, smartphone charging habits, and how you're not supposed to charge your phone to 100%. They say your smartphone should be charged only to 85%. That's interesting for battery performance. The lithium-ion batteries our phones last longest when we keep them charged between 30 and 80% throughout the day, not just topped off to 100%, then down to 0. Well, I guess I don't play mine right because I run it all day, then plug it in at night, and it runs it all the way back up to 100%. Don't have time to be plugging it in and unplugging it at the office. Customer service chatbot sector forecast to be worth $7 billion this year. Plus, you can now turn photos of your dead relatives into talking, blinking deep fakes. Really? How is this tied in? A chatbot is a chatbot. Why are we talking about photos of your dead relatives into... This is very, very weird. Why this is combined. It's an article around the Register. Dead relatives appear to speak and move in AI deepfakes created by a startup in partnership with MyHeritage, a genealogy company focused on helping customers flesh out their family trees. That's just weird. So anyway, they've got a whole bunch of stuff about what's going on in the tech sector. Also, if you like Apple monitors, well, Kuo is producing a 27-inch Apple external display coming this year. So that's from Ming-Chi Kuo, has continued his newfound career as a Twitter leaker by sharing his predictions for Apple desktop roadmap. The analyst said he expects Apple to ship a high-end Mac Mini this year, as well as a 27-inch Apple external display. However, he suggested updates to the iPad, iMac Pro, and Mac Pro will not arrive until 2023. The Apple external display would apparently be more affordable than the Pro Display XDR, in part because it's smaller in size, and would also be less technically advanced, such as lacking mini LED backlight technology. So we'll see. Maybe some of that will come out tomorrow. All right, that's going to bring me to the end of the show here today. Relatively short tech day. Tech news has been a little thin here since the Ukrainian stuff broke out. But we definitely want you to continue to support the show. Do so by becoming an insider at geeknesscentral.com/insider. Support our sponsor, GoDaddy, geeknesscentral.com/GoDaddy. And we definitely appreciate all of you doing those donations to the show. It's greatly appreciated. It helps the podcast out a lot. And but I'm heading off to LA in a couple of weeks to be out there for Podcast Movement Evolutions. But I'll be here all through this week and next week. Be here for the 20, maybe not. Maybe no show on the 21st. Because, again, I'm flying out on the 22nd, so I usually go up to Detroit the night before because of the flight time, the early flight hours. So, anyway, that's what's happening. And I'll be back with you on Thursday, as long as I don't feel worse than I do today. Definitely appreciate you being here. Thanks for being part of the family. Thanks for staying subscribed and watching the show. And thank you for your ongoing comments. We'll see you next time here at the Geek News Central podcast. Everyone, take care. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.